everybody, and welcome to a playful wild ride with Steve-O. We weren't even ready for how playful John C. Reilly was going to be. Exuberant, eccentric, enthusiastic, and he's such a long-time, die-hard fan of Jackass and buddies with Johnny Knoxville, which I didn't know. And man, we just hit it off like crazy. And, you know, I think he felt so comfortable that he might have spilled the beans a little bit, talking about some new activity coming up for his Dewey Cox character from Walk Hard. Yeah, dude, we really had a blast with this guy, so let's get right into it. We love to go about an hour. We're not particular too much, but that's generally what we love, and I'm confident that it's gonna fly right by.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna sit here. Oh, I thought we were gonna drive around.
No. That would be very.
I get car sick, so it probably would have been bad. Yeah.
It feels kidnappy.
Yeah.
If you're driving around and somebody wants to storm off the set, they got to tuck and roll. That's.
All right.
Yeah.
So have we started?
You know what? This is how we start.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you an Oscar-nominated, hilarious, serious, musical legend, John C. Reilly.
Well, hello, Steve-O.
Yeah,
Pleasure
dude.
to meet you.
Likewise.
I've been following your work for years, actually. What's going on here? I'm having some erection problems. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. And
I want to interview you because I've known Johnny, or what? Are you allowed to call him PJ publicly?
People call him PJ, but yeah, that's great. You know, PJ, Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, from a long time ago. Like I was good friends with Heather Graham back in the day when we were about to make Boogie Nights, or had made Boogie Nights, and she lived across the street from Johnny. And she was like, you guys, she told me and Paul Anderson, you got to come meet this crazy guy, Johnny Knoxville, lives across the street from me. They're doing these wild things, like stunt things. And me and Paul were already obsessed with amateur stunts.
Nice.
In fact, we wanted to do it for one of his movies. There's this famous videotape called The Martin Carlson Experience about these two brothers. Like they try to jump from one pine tree to another pine tree, and then end up going gung, 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 like,
yeah,
and almost passing out on the ground. We were obsessed with that, and a bunch of other like accidental stunt things gone wrong. So we're like, yeah, that sounds cool. So we go over and we meet Johnny, and he brings this videotape to Heather's place across the street, and he's like, hey, this is what we've been up to. And he plays us this videotape of getting pepper sprayed in the face in someone's backyard. And then there's one where I think it was him and Jeff Tremaine were heading to a forest preserve with a gun.
Yeah.
And Johnny's wearing a bulletproof vest. And you see Jeff like gets cold feet at the last minute. He's like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Right.
Fuck it. And Johnny's like, fuck it, I'll do it. And takes the gun and shoots himself in the chest with the gun. And they freak out. They jump in the car. And it was just the most insane thing I've ever seen on videotape. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, how were you so sure? Did you make sure you had a really good bulletproof vest? And he's like, well, actually, we researched it. And we found out like the best, like, you know, close range bulletproof vest is like $5,000. We had $1,500, so we got the best bulletproof vest we could get for $1,500.
I think it was actually 500.
Oh well, there you go. Even worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, wow, and then Jackass started to happen pretty quickly after that. And Paul had written in, I think it might have been Punch Drunk Love. I think he wanted to put these stunt dudes in, and I was like, have you seen this show Jackass yet? He's like, no. I was like, they're already doing it, man. They're already doing it, and they're doing it like amazingly well. So like, if you do put that in the movie, I think people are going to be like, well, that was like the Jackass guys. But we were actually coming. We had these weird videotapes we were trying to mimic before that, but some of it is in Punch Drunk Love. Phil Hoffman he does a mattress commercial where he's walking on top of a truck and he's like jumps off the truck and he lands on these mattresses and he bounces to the ground. The guitar pile drives into the ground and someone runs up to him. Are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm wearing leather. I'm wearing leather. That was like from another videotape we just found, like, so he ended up putting some of those stunts into the movie. Anyway, long story short, I've been a massive Jackass fan, all you guys from the very beginning to the very end, and when they suggested this, I was like, "Fuck yeah, man!" Like,
Yes.
and you know what else,
Amazing.
Steve? I'm really proud of your sobriety journey.
Thank you.
Because not all you guys made it out of there alive.
Right.
And I know how much strength and like discipline and belief in yourself and courage it takes to turn yourself around, especially when you've been such a fuck up on camera for so long.
I love that, man.
That became your brand. Like,
Yeah.
I'm wasted, I'm on poppers, or whatever the fuck, like,
Right.
It would have been great to do laughing gas with you in here, or drink beer instead of this stuff that looks like beer, but this is better.
Well,
This
thank
is
you.
better. You're alive, so that's better.
Yeah, and I would submit that everything's better.
Good. Good.
Everything's better.
One day I'll come around to that point of view, but for right now,
Wow.
I still enjoy to drink or whatever. Like,
Hey,
I'm blessed in that way. Like,
Sure.
I have a lot of addiction in my family, a lot of diabetes, a lot of addiction, and for some reason I just didn't get those genes,
Yeah.
But I understand how hard it is for people that do have those genes. But yeah, anyway.
I always say that what would be really, really hard, a lot harder than getting sober, would be for me to have continued at the rate I was going.
Well, there's
Something had to
that's
give,
where
man.
you would. I know where you would have ended up, man. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Now, it's very exciting to get to talk to you. Thank you so much for this. I'm honored by your kind words. Very grateful. And
pleasure.
as a starting point, I wanted to just connect with you over the way that we were both classically trained. Before we became big-time movie stars, we were classically trained in, like, performing arts.
I did not know this about you. How were you classically trained? You took acting classes and all that?
I graduated from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College.
Do you know this? Do you know my story about this?
I don't know your story about Clown College. I
Dude,
know that.
I was a clown as a kid. I was an amateur clown, and I still am obsessed with clowning. And many
sure.
of my characters, I think, are clowns. But when I was finishing college, I went to the Goodman School of Drama in Chicago, which is now called the Theater School at DePaul University. It's like a 4-year program, like Juilliard or something like that. And so in Chicago at the time was like the heyday of Chicago theater, Malkovich, Gary Sinise, all these people. And for some reason, because I grew up and never left Chicago until I was 22 years old when I finished college, I was like, I'm going to get out of Chicago and I'm going to go to Florida and go to clown college. And luckily, there was a teacher at school who taught clowning at my school. This guy, Steve Smith, I think was his name.
Ooh, I think I might have known Steve Smith in Clown College.
Yeah. And so Steve came up to me. He's like, "Did I hear you're thinking about going to clown college?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You went, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't do it." And I was like, "What? Why?" Because that was really like, when you're all stressing out at the end of college or whatever, you're like, "What am I going to do? Where am I going to go from here?" And I was like, "I'm going to clown college." Like, I thought I'd figured it out.
Right.
And he's like, "Listen, man, it says they're going to teach you how to be a clown. They're going to give you free room and board. But then you have to sign a 5-year contract with the circus. And you ain't going to be clowning. You're going to be shoveling elephant shit. And you're going to be in the worst train car in the whole circus. So listen, you got a good thing going here. You're a good actor. You have connections to Chicago. Don't go to clown college." And I was like, shit, I guess not. And I didn't go.
I never heard about a 5-year contract requirement, but absolutely it was like a 6-foot by 3-foot space that you would, like, that's your room on the train if you're in the Ringling Circuits.
Yeah, well, I knew there was like, the education's not free. They made it sound like it was free.
It was the only college with no tuition. That's how I found out about it. Isn't
that another way of saying free? No.
Well, right.
What did you have to pay for?
The room and board, you had to pay for living in a little apartment while you were there.
You had to pay for that?
You had to pay for your rent in an apartment. and there was
Well, they were lying to me to get me to come
Right.
down.
Do they own the apartment? It's like a dorm, or it's just like you get an apartment in the area?
it was a little apartment building across the street from the Sarasota Opera House, and they had the whole building.
Oh, so that's where you learned to walk on your hands and all that shit?
Yeah, well, I was walking on my hands before then, but
Unicycle?
unicycle I did not learn until I was a clown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Cool.
still walking was new to me in clown college. A lot of the juggling and stuff. But yeah, we both. I knew that you had leaned into clowning early on.
Yeah.
And of course, your new show, Mr. Romantic, is very vaudeville.
Yeah, it is a clowning show. I mean, it is. Like, I call it an emotional magic show, too. It's like this mythical character, Mr. Romantic, comes out of a steamer trunk at the beginning of the show, and he says, "Hello, I'm Mr. Romantic. I don't know what happened before at all. All I know is that I have to stay in that box. And when I come out of that box, I have to put on a show. And I don't have to go back into the box if I can find one person who will love me forever."
Yep. You know that we were at your show the other night.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Dude, you kidding?
Yeah, we absolutely
Did you have a
made
good time?
it. We had a blast.
Oh, good. So you know what the show is. I was just saying for the audience in case
for
they didn't
sure.
know what it was all about. But anyway,
We,
I do all kinds of pantomiming and clowning and audience work. And
the miming was, now as a clown, I'm supposed to have beef with mimes, but I was cool with it.
Yeah, miming and clowning, it's all the same. There's no real. I mean,
Right.
clowning. I know so many clowns in Los Angeles now. Like this woman, Natalie Palamides, who I think has some history with the Jackass
Okay.
movie. I don't know if you're familiar with little. You know who I'm talking about?
I'm
Okay, you guys. I think it might have been the last movie, and this might be controversial. I'm going to warn you.
Okay.
This might be controversial. It involves Weeman.
Okay.
So you guys decided, I think, in this last thing, like, we can't just have a bunch of swinging dicks. We have to add some women to the thing. We have to have some female performers, or else what are we doing? Like, it's just getting chauvinist or something.
Right.
So you asked these certain people who you thought were punk rock girls to come and, fuck with the show and be part of the show. And Natalie was asked to do it. Or not the show, the movie.
Yeah.
So Natalie came in, and she's a really good friend of mine. She's a brilliant clown, like one of the bravest people I've ever seen on stage, ever. She does a show called Nate, a one-man show that's on Netflix, and she has a new show coming out called Weir, W-E-E-R. Her and I do a lot of stuff at the Elysian Theater in LA. Anyway, so she gets a skate. She's so excited. She loves Jackass as much as I do. She's just, I can't believe I'm here. And so there, I don't know even how you guys actually work it. I've never been to the set for your movies, but she's like, we're sitting around a lot, kind of eating, and Weeman seemed to have like an issue that these chicks were just sitting around. But the first thing they were doing was like getting kicked in the nuts gag. And we're like, well, that's not, we all agreed, like, that's not going to be funny if the girls do it. You can't like kick a girl in the crotch, and it's just not as funny as kicking a guy in the balls.
Right.
And so they were kind of hanging back, and Weeman was making these comments like, oh, you guys are just going to sit around, like, whatever, like, eat craft service, blah, blah, blah. And Natalie was like, okay, all right, whatever. Like, don't be so aggro, dude. And she's like, and she was told, don't take shit from anybody. If someone's like, wants to prank you, prank them fucking back. Like, that's your job. Like, don't be afraid. Like, no holds barred, right? And so Weeman said a few more things to Natalie, and Natalie's no pushover, right? And she's like, you want to go? You want to go? And she just starts like fucking with him, thinking she's playing around or whatever. So she just goes at him, and they start wrestling.
Wow.
They start full on wrestling, and Natalie's strong, And she grabs him, and she starts to like choke him out, right? She has her arm around his neck. She starts choking him out, but his arms were small, and he's trying to tap her, like to say, like, you gotta let go of the chokehold, But she didn't feel it. She didn't understand what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And he almost like literally was choked out by her. And I also think after all his shit talking about girls earlier in the day, he was really emasculated and fucked up in the head by like getting taken out by this girl. And she was like, and then Johnny's like, yeah, fucking. He's like laughing while they're doing it. And she's like, just thinks like, I'm doing good. Johnny's laughing. It's all good. Meanwhile, Weeman's about to pass out. Yeah. He's trying to tap out, but she wasn't getting the signal. And finally, someone saw and figured it out. And she pulled him off or whatever.
They pulled her off of him.
She was fired. Like by the next day, they're like, okay, you got to go. Because, he was so like embarrassed by it. Like we're just trying to find a way for Weeman to recover from this. And we can't really see a way. And I know we told you to do whatever, but... But maybe that went too far. Like, I don't know. But anyway, isn't that interesting?
I'm not sure that story is entirely accurate, but man, did I enjoy it.
What do you mean?
Were
you there?
I was not there.
Why wouldn't you say it was accurate? You call me a liar?
I'm not calling you a liar.
Natalie told me this shit one-on-one, dude.
Would this
and
have
Natalie's
been
a good friend of mine. There's no reason she would lie to me about it. You better have her on this show. She'll bring the heat. Have her and Weeman.
I think I might be blushing.
You are.
Well, maybe was this at
Have
the
you ever heard
test
of that
shoot? Maybe
I think
because
it was
like,
at the test shoot because
like,
I've heard something close to that before.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
thank
Yeah,
you.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Have her and Weeman on,
All right.
because this would be like a real Geneva Peace Conference kind of thing, like to work this out, this beef.
Good.
little diplomacy.
Candidly, I was just trying to.
Give him the room in case he's like, fuck that! That bitch was saying shit to me, not the other way. Like, okay, whatever.
I was just trying to create some plausible deniability so I could have my buddies back.
Good. Well, I've got Natalie's back, so fuck you, Weeman. You got my friend fired, you little bitch.
Because I wonder, like those test shoots, they brought in a lot of people to try and figure out like new cast members, like who was going to gel.
Right.
And it sounded like, they felt like that wasn't a gel.
You should go see her perform, though, man. She'll blow your mind. She's so good. And she is a clown through and through. What I was going to say was I know all these clowns in L.A. through the Elysian Theater scene and this thing called Clown Zoo, this guy Chad Damiani.
Do you know a guy named Matt Walker?
Yes, Matt Walker from the Troubies.
Troubadour, yeah.
I used to go see the Troubies. I brought my kids when they were real little to the Troubies. Like, I saw tons of their shows.
I was in clown college with Matt Walker.
Oh, shit.
And he was...
Do you know Beth Kennedy?
That name
She was in the Troubies, too. She's a badass.
Matt Walker was single-handedly, I submit, more talented than all 32 other clowns combined.
Well, he became a real leader for that group.
He is shockingly talented, Matt Walker. How's this for shocking? A lot of people have audiences online and aren't selling stuff to them. And it's so easy with Shipstation. You got the fastest, cheapest shipping to wow your customers with the lowest rates and the quickest delivery. Plus, Shipstation is offering you a 60-day free trial. You've got absolutely nothing to lose, and you won't even believe it when you see how this interface is just so intuitive with all of the different shippers, all of the different methods of selling like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, your own website. I'm telling you, it's so easy, and it is time to make ship happen. So to get this 60-day free trial, you go to shipstation.com/Stevo. One more time for 60 days free trial, shipstation.com/Stevo. Now let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So anyway, what I was saying about that clown community that I know is that, like, people hear clown and they think like full bozo, like gloves and everything, and that is one way to do a clown. But most of the clowns I know don't wear makeup at all, or they'll just a little suggestion of something or whatever. Like, it's like a way of doing improv,
Right.
And to me, like clowning, miming, improv, they're all in the same spectrum. It's just the same shit. It's just some is more physical, some is more, mental. So I don't make. We used to say in college when I would get mime gigs, because I do it for money a lot in college. We used to say mime is money because. That was like an easy gig. They would be like, they're opening a mall in Downers Grove, and we're gonna give you $50. You spend three hours there doing mime. We're like, oh yeah, we know how to do that. The fuck we're doing. I never took mime lessons, so we would just like mimic people's walks behind them and shit, and just fuck with people for 3 hours, and that was $50. So yeah. Anyway,
amazing. As a clown, the one time that stands out where I felt like genuinely just mesmerized and jealous of somebody's performance was when I watched an Outcast concert and Andre 3000. The way that he simply moved across the stage was so captivating. And I just thought, ooh, this guy's just got an ability to just move in a way that's, that's clowning to me.
Yeah, he's no clown, but Snoop Dogg also has an amazing movement quality. Like, I've met him and I sang with him. We've become text buddies.
Nice.
He moves with this elegance. You've never seen anyone less in a hurry. You know, just everything's, it's just like this flow state.
Yeah.
And maybe because he's smoking weed all the time or something, but it's just this elegance, I was like, damn, when I grow up, I want to move like Snoop Dogg. Like,
yep.
I'm wearing slippers to work.
I'm curious, like, what exactly is clowning then? Like, is it like this ability to like attract attention, to be like
it's
fix
almost
it?
like a
is
whole
Pee Wee Herman?
philosophical school of performance.
I
too.
love the question.
Yeah.
Right.
My understanding is that clowning was born of necessity in the early days of the circus, with people in the trapeze and all this dangerous stuff going on. Sometimes there would be catastrophic accidents, and if somebody fell off the high wire or something like that, like they would need to address the
Anyway, don't look at that,
situation.
folks.
Yeah.
Right.
Clowns and even
It's what they do in rodeos too.
Right.
That's what, yeah.
and
Yeah,
not-
right. A rodeo clown.
Not just catastrophic accidents, but sometimes in between acts, you got to break down
Sure.
break down the one act and set up the next one.
Clean
So
up the elephant shit.
Yeah.
For the next
so
act.
the clowns would run in to distract attention, and that, as I understand it, is really the role. So
And even way before that, clowns have been around since people have been around. You know what I mean? The jester for the king.
Sure.
That was a clown. He was the person who was allowed to say the truth to the king because he was funny and he's stupid. Or like commedia dell'arte, the traditions in Italy. Like these archetypal characters. It was almost like acting on steroids. Like all these. They were like archetypes, that became more and more exaggerated, and that's definitely connected to the clown shit too.
there's definitely a connection between clowning and cartoons.
Sure.
A clown is a cartoon version of a person. Did you ever meet Bill Irwin?
No, I've never met him, but I love his work. Obviously, how about David Schreiner?
I'd never
He
met
was
him,
the
no.
lead clown for Cirque du Soleil for a long time. He had this incredible silent act where he was like a Charlie Chaplin looking guy who was like a silent filmmaker, but he never said a single word. But he would get audience members, volunteers, and then direct them in a scene with a camera and action, but he would never say anything. It was all silent.
Yeah.
Brilliant. In fact, I think Schreiner and Bill Irwin did a show together. I think he might have been in Full Moon, that Bill Irwin show. But anyway.
Have you seen any Cirque du Soleil shows?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I
man.
used to go all the time when it still seemed like a traveling circus. And when it became more of a Vegas thing, I kind of tuned out a little bit. But
Right.
I love that kind of performance. I love circus shit.
I think I've seen like 16 different Cirque du Soleil shows. I love it so much. Okay, now, in our careers, maybe in our lives, we both share a history
Uh-oh.
of
Did we
hardcore
sleep
drug
with
addiction.
someone? I was going to say,
I thought this was gonna be so
was it
fun.
a girl? I was like, no.
I thought this was going to be so much fun to say that we both have a history of hardcore drug addiction. Just with you, it's fictional.
Oh, right. Dewey Cox. Yeah, he was
Dewey
addicted
Cox.
to every drug known to man. You
I
don't want
asked
no
the
part of
guys.
that shit, Steve-O. You don't want no part of that shit.
I
I
asked
think
the guys.
I kind of do. Like,
Yeah.
I asked the guys which of your movies do they think is the funniest, and they submit.
Walk Hard.
Yeah, Walk
Walk
do
hard.
have-
We both said it like at the same time. No hesitation.
Wow. Cool. Well, I'm sorry you don't like Step Brothers. So fuck you, and I'll tell Will you said so. How about Talladega?
Talladega
Nights?
Nights.
Obviously,
I
Floating your
think-
boat at all? No? Okay.
I,
What other
I,
funny movies have I done that are not as funny as Walk Hard?
Walk Hard was
Semi-Pro
just.
was pretty
I
close.
wasn't in Semi-Pro.
Were you not?
No.
That's
Will.
That's what I was thinking. When you said
Strike
that, I was
one.
like,
God damn it!
No,
I
yeah,
can't
Walk
believe
Hard.
it.
That's of course one of the greatest moments of my life, like making that movie musically too. Like I worked with all these musicians to write all those original songs, and yeah, that's definitely the gift that keeps on giving. In fact, this is almost an exclusive for you, Steve-O, because I just told Buddy Miller, we did a podcast inside this guy Buddy Miller's house just now. But we're going to release the soundtrack for the 20th anniversary in 2027, re-release it. I think Jack White wants to release it on vinyl. And we're going to do a concert tour, Dewey Cox and the Hard Walkers.
Oh, wow.
As many dates and as big a places as we can do. So, yeah, that's the idea for the 20th anniversary.
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I did an 8-city concert tour when the movie came out as Dewey Cox and with the Hard Walkers, and it was because there was a writer's strike at the time, and you couldn't go on talk shows. None of the talk shows were up. So I was like, fuck, this studio was like, we have a satire that we need to explain to people what it is a satire of, but we don't have any talk show appearances for you to like explain, like, what are we going to do? So they're like, we'll put you on an 8-city concert tour on a private plane with the band. We'll show the movie, and then after the movie, they can come to the concert and see you perform all the songs. And I was like, great. And it worked out great. I mean, it seems insane. No studio would ever pay you to go even one time on a private plane anymore. Like, but they were like desperate at the time. Anyway, they would show the movie, and then people would come to see the concert. And I remember it was like the concerts went great. You know, they really did love the music. They barely knew the songs though. They'd just seen the movie, right? So now, 20 years later, it's funny that you guys name check Walk Hard on a bus, because it is the most popular movie for musicians on a tour bus of all my movies for sure. Like, I come upon tour buses to visit friends, and you walk in and you're like, oh shit, you guys are watching Walk Hard right now. Like, so yeah. Anyway.
I think Talladega Nights is, to me, like top level. Most
Well, that's
hilarious.
when Will and I really like hit our stride. I was supposed to be an anchor man, but I was busy doing another movie at the time, so that would have been our first movie together. But yeah, Talladega was when we kind of made the formula.
Was Talladega Nights your first like real like kind of irreverent comedy? Like you're kind of switch into that whole world?
That is when people said that, but Talladega, I don't know how many movies I'd done at that point, but when
Right.
Paul Anderson, who directed Boogie Nights, heard that, he's like, what are people talking about that they're surprised that you're funny? Didn't they see Boogie Nights? Because to him, there's a lot of comedy in Boogie Nights.
There is, but it's like
in
those-
general, like that's true.
Yeah, the Paul Thomas Anderson movies are like they're like very artful, and it's like more of a
They're artful, but they also have large cocks in them.
large cocks, and they're super funny. But like Talladega Nights, and then like Step Brothers, these are kind of like they're sort of a different
you're
level of irreverence.
Yeah,
mean,
those
almost-
movies would have been listed in the TV guide or whatever.
Yeah.
As
But Talladega
comedy,
Nights didn't feel to you like this is a risk I'm taking. I'm really branching
Fuck
out.
no,
That just
man.
felt like a
Look, people always ask me, do you like comedy better? Do you like drama better? And I'm like, I like being employed better. For sure. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to commit wholeheartedly to it. If it's serious, we're making a drama. If it's ridiculous, we're making a comedy. Like, but to me, the process is the same. You just commit like 100%, and Will in a way, like Will taught me like nothing matters except getting the joke across. So like when we were doing Talladega, I remember like literally like, okay, Will's not going to be in his underwear and he's going to run around the racetrack thinking he's on fire. I remember looking at him like, are you sure, man? Like, you want to be in your underwear? Like, because I was, whatever, neither of us were in such great shape then. I thought, man, that's fucking brave. Like, he's got a little belly on him like me. Like, I don't know sure if I would do that right now. And then you watch him do it and you're like, no, of course, that's punk rock. That's what you do. You fucking go for it. If you have to take off your underwear, you take off your underwear. Like, and Will is like ride or die like that. He will chase a joke from the very beginning to the very end. Like, he told me this amazing thing one time. He started fucking around at Saturday Night Live, and I forgot what the name of the character was. Like, it was like David or something. He started calling himself David, and he wore this sweater vest and this weird shirt and these slacks, and And someone said, I dare you to wear that every day when you come in here. And he started wearing it like for a whole season of the show. That's what he showed up to work in, dressed as David or whatever. And then there's this one famous story when Puff Daddy was on the show. He came in. It was like when he did that Godzilla movie cover with that Led Zeppelin riff in it. Mm-hmm. It was kind of lame, in my opinion. I love Led Zeppelin, but I wasn't down with Puff Daddy's version. But he told SNL people, like, no one is allowed on the floor when I'm rehearsing. And everyone in the cast, including Will, was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, this is our house, bro. We walk where we want around here, like, but, the staff of the show was like, oh, no, we have to honor this. He's the musical guest. And Will heard that. Will went out as David in his sweater vest and his weird thing. And, like, there's a famous videotape of it. It's the rehearsal before the dress rehearsal. It's like his sound check, basically, Puff Daddy's sound check. And Will just starts slowly coming out in character and just standing behind him in this creepy way, just like hovering. And you see Puff Daddy like kind of like that. He's like, I'm not gonna say anything. And he starts to notice, like, who is this person behind me? Who is he gonna fuck with me? Like, you can see he like totally gets in Puff Daddy's head. Anyway, it was like one of Will's famous favorite stories from the whole show, like kind of creeping up on Puff Daddy as David. I wish I could remember the real name of the character, but anyway, that kind of commitment to follow a bit, just because someone said, I dare you to wear that outfit every day. He's like, oh yeah, you dare me? Watch me,
Yeah.
And that taught me, like, no, you have to go for it. What's more important than that? Like how your hair looks, or the fact that you've hidden your chubby belly, or like, who gives a shit about your chubby belly?
Right.
If you can spread joy with your chubby belly, fucking do it. Like, that's what the world needs.
Right.
Joy.
Did you have a friendship with Will prior to working with him professionally? Because your guys' chemistry on screen is so good.
We met through Molly Shannon. I did a movie with Molly Shannon called Never Been Kissed, and she's like, you should meet my friend. I think Will, you'd really like him. And I knew his work a little bit from the show, and I was like, yeah, he's really funny. Like, and then she's like, I remember we met on the West Side Highway. I had brunch with Molly, and then she's like, oh, Will lives over here. He's gonna meet us. And I remember like looking into his eyes and being like, holy shit, like, I'm gonna know this guy. Like, he seems like my brother. Like, there's something about his eyes, and like, I was like, I think we're gonna get along. It was almost like, did we just become best friends? Before the movie, like,
Right.
And then it was sure enough, like, we share a lot. I'm not even sure, like, if we even know all the things we share, but definitely a sense of the absurd. And he's a really decent guy. Will is not one of these comedians that's like on all the time. In fact, a lot of times I think people are sort of disappointed because he's just sort of normcore, like, just super normal, like into his family and whatever. And of course, insanely funny, but he's one of those people that's funny in a way I don't think even he really understands, And I know that because his father, Lee, and his brother, Pat, are also funny in that same way. They're not, comedians, or Pat has done some acting and was in Will's stage show, the George Bush show on Broadway, but Lee and Pat, you just see it like, oh, you guys are just born this way. There's this some weird thing about you, like, where, like, I'm an actor, I'm not a comedian, I'm an actor. I'm someone who knows how to commit to, like, a specific, details, and then that's the character. Will could read the phone book. I mean, literally, he could read the phone book, and you'd be laughing over and over and over again. There's just something about his magic fairy dust he puts on stuff.
I'll tell you, when I want to put a little bit of magic on my performance in the bedroom, I put a BlueChew tablet on it. It's a delicious, chewable tablet that helps men have better sex. And I proudly take it because it helps me have better sex. And I proudly tell you guys about it because it might help you have better sex. If you want to give it a shot, if you think it's a good idea for you, then go to BlueChew.com and use the promo code STEVO to get an entire month's supply completely for free. All you pay is $5 for shipping. So very little to lose. If you want to have better sex, then give this a try. It's BlueChew.com and use the promo code STEVO for an entire month's supply of BlueChew tablets. Just pay $5 for shipping and have yourself some fun. Now let's get back to it. Well, I think you are just absolutely naturally hilarious. Even one of my first questions that I thought to ask you was if you find yourself genuinely upset, like angry, you're trying to like reprimand somebody.
Yeah.
Do you find that people have a hard time not laughing because you're
sometimes, but I can go dark, like that's the difference between me and Will actually, and I so admire it. Will can swear like you fucking, like he can swear a blue streak, and the more he swears and the more severe the words are, the funnier it is. If I swear, it gets serious pretty fast, I don't know if it's coming from the south side of Chicago or what. Like I say, fuck you, man. Like it gets serious way faster, like. So, yeah. What was the question again?
What just like do people laugh when you're angry?
Yeah, like I just did this movie, right? And I have a thing when I'm making movies, like the director is the director. So if the camera is, John, do you mind if you could hold it up? I look at them and I go like, hey, man. You're directing. Like, that's not your job. Like, if you need me to do something, you tell that guy. He's the director, And I just did it on this last movie. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I go, you should be a director because what you're doing sounds like directing. He's like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, you think I'm kidding, don't you? But I'm not kidding. No, dude, I'm seriously, I'm not kidding. You should not be. And then suddenly you're like, oh, okay, sorry, man.
Yeah, so you're saying that like you'll just get so pissed off on set that you go full Christian Bale on people.
No, I don't go Christian Bale on people. Like, and I feel for Christian Bale because it's hard to do that job. And if someone's being distracting and you've asked them not to be distracted,
right.
They continue to do it. That's a dick move on their part.
Right.
Like you're trying to do your job. And that DP was like moving back and forth and moving shit.
Right.
And he'd already said like, hey, could you hold still? You're distracting me. Like
I was trying to be silly. Now I feel bad for referencing that.
No, that's all right. That's all right, man.
But like.
But what I'm saying is, I do have a serious streak in me. I'm an actor first, not a comedian, So I have the ability to go... And when I was studying improv in college, like I studied a kind of improv that was not like Second City. It was not like get the laugh at all costs. Right. When I studied improv, it was like we're going to improvise. So whatever happens is what's happening. If something serious happens, that's what we're doing. If something funny happens, great. But you're committing to the moment, and anything can happen in the moment. That's how I learned to do improv. So, it's not all light all the time. Sometimes you can go serious and whatever. And I've worked hard throughout my whole career as an actor to not get pigeonholed. Because I think what happens a lot of times with funny people especially is like, once you make someone laugh, you're like, oh, they're just always expecting you to make them laugh.
Right.
Like, well, when's he going to be funny? But if you toggle back and forth between serious and not serious, like, I like to keep people guessing, like, what is he gonna do?
Do you feel like you ever toggled one way, like dangerously, like?
Well, yeah. I mean, like after Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, and like suddenly I was like, well, I better get back to doing some serious shit, or I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life, and I don't want to do the same thing over and over. If there's any through line to my career, it's variety. And it takes discipline yourself to demand the right to do different things, I think a lot of people criticize actors for being stereotyped or pigeonholed, but it's the audience that pigeonholes you, oftentimes. The audience only wants to see you do something that they loved you do, And for whatever reason, I've been really lucky that way, that the audience is open to me doing different shit, whether it's music or comedy or drama or whatever.
Right.
Like, it's been a real gift from the audience to me, and it's not lost on me. But
what I loved was Winning Time on HBO.
Oh, thanks,
where
man.
You played the the famous Jerry Buss, owner of the Lakers.
Dr. Jerry Buss, yes.
I mean, what a fantastic show that was. And did they had a script for it to continue, but they didn't continue it?
I think, first of all, if everyone's like, I'm so sorry, your show was canceled, man. I loved that show. Like, I was only booked for 2 seasons. Like, that's all I was supposed to do. That was the plan, you know. Of course, when something is good and it's doing well, like everyone wants it to continue forever. I wanted to get into the Kobe era as much as anybody, and Shaq and stuff. But and I even said to the writer director of that, I was like, how are we ending the second season? Because you know, you never know what these companies are gonna do. Like, this is an expensive show. This show is costing $16 million an episode.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, dude. Because of all the crowd scenes and the sports photography and the period costumes, like everything costs money. If you're not in the present day, everything costs money, you know.
Man.
Wow, that's a good point.
So I said to him, I was like, hey man, like, what's the plan for the end? Because you should plan on them canceling it. And then if it doesn't get canceled, then we can continue. And he's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. It's going to be like a to be continued kind of thing. And I was like, Max, that's a very dangerous proposition. You know, like, I know, of course, I want it to continue, and I think we're in good shape, but you just never know. These are companies, they're businesses.
Right.
They don't give a shit whether something's good. They only care if it's making money, you know?
Yeah, I wonder how much Game of Thrones cost per episode.
A ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
That set some records, that show. But lots of people were watching it.
Right.
Lots of people had already bought those books way before that show.
Right.
So their fan base was like, they're making money. That's why they kept doing it, you know. HBO got bought by, you know, this
by
new
AT&T.
owner. Discovery bought Warner Brothers. So they were doing all kinds of rearranging, and it just so happened there was like a bloodletting at HBO right when they were trying to look at all the budgets of everything, and the show got canceled. So that kind of like, whoops, the show's ending to the second season was like, and they went on to like a scroll at the end. Like, actually, I'll tell you the show. I've never seen the show.
Oh, wow.
That's
I really enjoyed it.
I saw the pilot and the first episode, and I realized, like, wait, if I have to keep doing this, I can't watch it. I have to keep, like, staying in the same place I was in when we made the pilot. Like, I don't want to, like, be referencing my own performance or changing what I'm doing because I've been looking what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's, and I even told him, I was like, guys, you better come up with, like, a you know, where are they now kind of ending in case they shut us down. And then they did, but...
Yeah.
I'm super proud of it. Just because I didn't see it doesn't mean I'm not super proud of it. Like, I loved everything we did. I was there, you know, so I know what it was like.
It
and
was
that
fantastic.
character was one of the best characters I've ever played. One of the greatest American stories ever of rags to riches, man. That guy, Jerry Buss, is like an incredible, incredible story. The you know, it's like a lesson in optimism, you know, and willpower. And making beautiful things happen through your own willpower. Like, anyway, he was a doctor of chemistry. He was a doctor of physical chemistry. He taught physical chemistry at USC. And then he got into the real estate business because he was like, I'm not making enough money as a teacher. And then someone like him and his business partner started making real estate investments, and he got fabulously wealthy from real estate. And that's how you saw it in the show.
For sure.
He bought the Lakers, but one of the things he gave was the Chrysler building. He was like, here you go. I'll give you the deed to that and whatever. Like, anyway, it's just an incredible story where he came from and where he ended up.
Right. I just watched the Cowboys TV show on Netflix, and there's a little bit of a parallel there between Jerry Jones and Jerry Buss.
Oh, okay. Like the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys were the only other team in professional sports with cheerleaders other than Jerry Buss.
Yeah.
Jerry Buss was the first one to put cheerleaders in professional basketball. He was the one who was like, you know what? And they were like, no, that's like a collegiate thing, Jerry. I was like, fuck that, a collegiate thing. I want a show. Let's get some beautiful girls out there. Like, this is entertainment. He was the first one to realize, like, basketball is not about jock straps. Basketball is about entertainment. It's a show. Right. There are characters. There should be music. There should be hot girls. There should be, like, a
Yeah.
club to go to afterwards. You know, he
Yeah.
was in a weird way, like he was the inventor of modern stadium entertainment. You know,
Wow.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would concur. Now, I want to ask this: do you have a dog?
I had a dog. Why?
Just because I fucking love dogs, man. And
I
I
have
just
a beautiful dog that I found on the street in Silver Lake a long time ago when I lived in Silver Lake. He was begging for shrimp outside of this place called Lila Thai, which is still there. He's begging for coconut shrimp outside of Lila Thai. And some girl was like, he was just like all scroungy, little stumpy tail, like someone must have cut his tail or seemed like I got caught in a door or something. But anyway, this beautiful kind of like, he had these kind of Cleopatra eyes. He was like this brown color. Anyway, this girl, Delia, who lived nearby, who I didn't even know, was like, she's one of these kind people that the dog trusted because he didn't trust anybody. You know, he trusted this girl, Delia. We were eating at Layla Thai, and she goes, "You should take this dog home. This dog is your dog." And I was like, "What?" And my wife's like, "No, no, 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 no." And I was like, "Okay, Delia." And she like managed to she walked with us to our house because I lived right near there at the time. And she walked Fletcher. We called him Fletcher because I always wanted a dog named Arrow. And then a Fletcher is someone that makes arrows. Anyway, and Fletcher Boulevard is right near in Silver Lake. That's a street in Silver Lake. And since he was a street dog, I was like, he should be called after a street. Anyway, it took us a long time to get him to be nice and not growl at people. And he trusted me
what
first.
kind of dog was he?
He looked like a shepherd mix or something. He's probably about 50 pounds,
Okay.
He looked like one of
Sizable.
these. Yeah. He was, I would say, medium build or whatever. But he had all these kind of weird things, like people with low voices, men with no voices, low voices. He'd be, like he just mistrusted certain people, which made me think. And he hated being in the car. The whole time, like we driving for 3 hours for a trip. Like I was like, Fletcher, calm down, man, calm down. But he just did not like the car. He also to the day he died, he lived to be like 16 years old. To the day he died, if you touched him with your feet, even like soft with your socks he'd be like he did not want to be touched with a person's foot.
Oh,
Which made me think he must have got the shit kicked out of him or something when he was
that's
little,
terrible.
And he had this weird little tail. When he was happy, he would go sideways like this. Anyway, God bless you, Fletcher, wherever you are. I have an oil painting of him. That's all I have
I
left
love
of
that.
him. And his ashes. Well, I had his ashes, but it burned in the fire. My house burned down.
Oh, in
did.
Altadena.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry,
That's all right,
man.
man. Every conversation these days comes around to this depressing thing of
Well,
my
yeah.
house burned down. But yeah, my house burned down, but we're fine. There's a lot of other people that need much more sympathy than me. People that didn't have insurance or whatever.
Right.
Or lost people in the fires. But yeah. Anyway,
Man.
I do still have that painting of Fletcher.
Oh,
that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I saw very shortly before we met you something online that said anti-aging medicine to make your dog live way longer will be available next year.
Wow, like stem cells or some shit?
I don't know how it works, but man, I love that.
Well, I guess that's all right. I mean, if it's a good quality of life for the dog, I guess that's all right. You know what kind of creeps me out of this cloning thing? People cloning
Right.
their pets? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I couldn't get on board with that.
Yeah, that's something a little weird. Like,
Yeah, I
Wow.
could.
and I wonder how much of their personalities end up being like.
Right, because you can clone the cells, but I just have a spiritual belief in the soul being really another
But
facet.
I'm like you, brother. Though I love animals. I have like a natural connection to almost all animals. Like
Right.
horses. I've had some beautiful friendships with horses. Where I did a movie called The Sisters Brothers, and I rode this horse. Pollito was his name, which means little chicken, but he farted so much that we call him pedito, which means like little fart.
Oh, wow.
But I said, I worked with all these wonderful people on that movie, and I was sad to say goodbye to them at the end of the movie, but dude, I sobbed when I said goodbye to that horse.
I think you guys know that I understand what it means to really love an animal. And that's why I'm so thrilled about this week's sponsor, Ollie. It's about fresh dog food for your dogs. Healthy, fresh, real food. And man, they're giving you a great deal. You can get 60% off your welcome pack if you go to ollie.com/Stevo. That's OLLIE.com/Stevo, and use the promo code Stevo at checkout. Why would you do this? Because it's the way to give your dog the best nutrition. You go onto this website, tell them a little bit about your dog. They're going to cater a meal plan for your dog that optimizes its health. And man, it's a happiness guarantee with your first box too. So you cannot go wrong. Now, to get this, again, it's ollie.com/Stevo. That's for 60% off your welcome pack and with the happiness guarantee on the first box. ollie.com/Stevo and use the promo code Stevo at checkout. Do it for your dog because you love your dog. And now let's ride this baby all the way home.
They actually eat horse meat in Europe. It is a thing. It's fucking crazy. If you've ever connected with a horse, that's a sentient being, man.
Oh, man.
That horse,
you don't have to tell me.
You look in the eyes of a horse, it's like a chimp. You know, like there's stuff going on in there, man. You know,
my home is an animal sanctuary.
Well, there you go.
Like a full-blown 501c3 nonprofit organization to help animals.
And just to show you that I'm also a hypocrite, I do eat meat. You know, I eat beef and I eat pork. You know, and you can do studies on pigs. Pigs are way smarter than chimps, I think. You know,
Yeah. Right.
Anyway,
this seems to really lead me to the.
Do you eat meat?
I have not eaten any meat other than seafood for more than 17 years.
Okay, cool.
I do eat
I respect
seafood.
that. I respect that.
It's
okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings, as Kurt Cobain once said.
I don't believe that that's true, but I think death is a lot easier than life. You know, it's a hard life that really breaks my heart. And so the idea of factory farming, you know, like the cows.
You should talk to my friend Joaquin Phoenix. He's lives and breathes this shit.
Yeah, there you go.
His whole family
for sure
has been vegetarian since they were little tiny kids.
Big time.
Basically, when they figured out that hamburger was made of cows or that fish was these animals, they took their parents to task, all those kids, when they were really little, and said, "You didn't tell us that a hamburger was a cow. We're never eating meat again, and neither are you." And none of them ever did again. I mean, I've been vegetarian and vegan at points in my life, but then pepperoni comes calling, or bacon, or whatever, like these gateway meats, you know, like. And you fall off, you get back on, whatever.
Right.
I'm imperfect, you know, I'm a flawed person, but these little kids, they're still that way. I mean, Joaquin has a beautiful family. Like, they're really, each one of them are just like
Joaquin and I have a mutual friend named Michelle Cho, who's very, very active in the animal rights community and a board member of my nonprofit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but
thanks for what you're doing. I hope by the time I die, I'm as enlightened as you in that regard.
I
really.
don't know that I'm terribly enlightened.
No, it is.
But
You are enlightened. To stick by that and to make a decision that you're going to live by your beliefs, I have to find some way to get there, man.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of emphasis, I feel like, particularly lately, and I think in connection to Mr. Romantic, kind, loving comedy.
Yeah, well, sincerity, like I was saying before about as an actor, I just commit to things. Like that's another way of saying I'm sincere. I'm sincere when even though I'm pretending to be a character, I'm sincerely trying to be exactly what that guy is.
Right.
I've never been someone who looks down on their character like, isn't this character stupid? I'm smarter than this, but the character I'm playing is stupid. You know, like I'm not like that. I embody that. You know, if the person believes something, I try to believe it, you know. But what were you just saying?
Just the emphasis on kind, loving comedy.
So, Mr. Romantic, and in general, when I do music, like when I started doing that folk band, John Reilly and Friends, years ago, I was like, when did sincerity become uncool? You know, when did empathy become a weakness? Because it's not. You know, like Elon Musk said something like, the empathy trap. It's like it's a human weakness that we need to overcome. Like, fuck you, dude. It's not a weakness. No, empathy is a superpower.
Right.
And it is literally what makes civilization work. You know, the idea that I should stop at the red light, not just for me, but so that I don't crash into you, who I don't even know. You know, like the ability to have love and kindness and respect for a human being you don't know, that's literally at the basis of civilization. Without that, we're cavemen. You know, it's just the dog eat dog.
Right.
And maybe Elon wants to believe that that's true, but, you know, I would like to see him try to survive in the caveman era. I don't think he would do so well. Like,
Right.
and I believe that, you know, that's part of the you know, my beliefs behind the show, Mr. Romantic, is like, the show is a meditation on love, you know, and you saw it when you came to the
Yeah.
show. I go out into the audience and I
For sure.
talk to women first, and I talk to men, and I say to the man, like, hey, man, I don't know if you thought I was just going to be talking to women, but
Right.
I'm not gay or straight. I'm desperate. And so it takes it out of this sexual thing, this homophobia thing, especially here in Tennessee. You know, there's a lot of homophobia bullshit here. Like, I wanted to come to a place like this and be like, I'm going to talk to whoever, even the guy with the gun shirt on, you know, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to these people and try to make the point that love is love. It's not about butt fucking or whatever. Like,
Right.
It's about looking at another human being and be like, you know what? Whatever you believe, you deserve my kindness and my respect and my empathy. Like, I don't know how we get out of the moment we're in without that.
Right.
So after I finished Winning Time, I've been stuck in that show for a long time because of the COVID thing and everything. It went much longer than I thought it was going to. And so by the time I finished it, I was like, I just want to feel free again. I just want to, and I want to address what's really going on in the world. Like, I'm looking at this divisiveness and how, you know, A and B and blue and red and all of it. And I was like, what can I do? Like, I don't think that, like, political statements from actors carry much weight, actually. You know, if they did, these last couple of elections wouldn't have worked out like they did, because every cool celebrity in the world was gunning for the Democrats, right? Or was stumping for the Democrats.
Right.
But I thought, what can I do? I can sing, I can dance,
Right.
I can make people laugh, I can be a clown, I can tell people that I love them, and I can talk about the idea that it's okay to love each other. Like, it's not
It's necessary.
it's not a weakness. It's a strength, you know?
Right.
And if I can move the needle a little bit in that way, maybe that's what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
I love that.
So that's the mission of the show. It's not a moneymaker, I can tell you that. It's a break-even proposition at best. But at this point in my life, I've done over 80 movies or something. I've done all this music, and I've gotten all this love and adoration from people. I get a lot of love from people that don't know me, you know? People who are anonymous to me love me. So I thought, like, well, what can I do now? What is meaningful for me? What makes my life meaningful? Like, I'm sure you went through this when you became sober, finding a higher power or finding some
Sure.
reason to get through the day without getting fucked up. Like, what's important to me? What's important? Maybe this sanctuary was what did it, or whatever. Like, I have friends who are like surfers who don't believe in God. They don't believe, you know, the AA shit was hard for them. And they were like, I believe in the ocean. I know the ocean is a higher power than me.
Sure.
You know? And so that's what I decided to do. Like, this gives my life meaning, to talk about love and try to connect with people and try to make a palpable difference, even if it's for 90 minutes. That gives my life meaning, you know?
Right.
Getting more famous, making more money, even whatever, making movies or whatever, playing this famous character or that just doesn't have as much meaning for me anymore. I'm getting older. You know, I just turned 60 years old. Like, I want to try to help the world become what I want it to be, you know?
More compassionate.
Yeah. So
You
that
know,
was the mission for this
love
one.
that.
Like,
Yeah, I love it too. And it was very evident in the show, you know, especially when he spoke to the First Lady and he said, I'm not going to do anything. Because he brought her on stage. He
the
brought
first
Nadia
woman
Ven-
I spoke to, not
Yeah.
the first lady.
Pat, I think
Right,
her
right.
name
The
was.
first woman.
The first lady didn't come to the show.
Right. But you brought this audience member on stage.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a nerve-wracking proposition for most anybody to
Yeah.
be thrust into the center of attention on
Yeah.
stage in a theater. And you lovingly reassured her that you weren't going to do anything, do or say anything to
to shame her,
to shame her, or
make her
or
feel less
humiliate,
than,
right?
or-
You're gonna respect her.
Because everyone sees a comedian pull somebody, they're like, here we go, make fun
Right.
of this one, like Don Rickles or something.
Right.
It's like, no, this is not what this is about. I'm trying
Right.
to find a love forever. That's
Right.
what. So
And-
yeah, that was one of the most special interactions with a crowd person I've ever had. I almost lost my shit. I started
Oh,
crying.
because
Pat.
you,
Her
you
name was
sang a
Pat.
song.
Yeah, of course I know Pat.
Yeah, because you sang a song that was her late
And she
husband's.
said, yeah, that was my husband and I's.
Yeah.
That was our song. And then, of course, you know what I did. I turned it into like a killer joke.
I
Where
mean,
was
it
like,
was.
is
yeah,
he with us anymore? And she's like, no, he's passed away. And the audience goes, oh. And I
He
go,
said-
so Pat, that means you're single.
Yeah.
It
That
really was.
dug us out of
wonderful.
that very sad moment,
It really
but,
was wonderful. And
I'm so glad you guys came. That's
yeah,
so cool.
And to assure her the way that you did, that you weren't going to shame her, humiliate her, do anything disrespectful at all. It really invited the audience into the warmth that you were there to convey.
Yeah, well, I think you've probably seen this, right? You've traveled a lot or whatever. Like, I watch people, like, in the line talking to an airline representative, right? When you're fucking pissed off, you're late or something, and it's the airline's fault, and I bought this seat, and da-da-da-da. And you see them get to the front, and you're like, dude, you are not going to win this one, because that person gets shit on all day long. You think you're going to be the golden shit? No. You're not going to succeed, So when I get to the front of that line, I'm like, how you doing? So I got this problem. Like, you try to see the person,
Right.
connect,
For sure.
show them like,
You get more bees with honey.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm curious that you say that you get. I'm picturing you at the front of the line at the ticket counter in the airport, and I'm very interested in like going about your life in public. Like are you and in the grocery store buying all of your groceries?
Yeah, I don't have an assistant. I don't. If you contact me, you're contacting me. Like,
That's fantastic.
I think because I don't know, I was more like a grunt kind of person in the entertainment world for a long time. I was just like, coming in, doing the job. No one knew who the fuck I was. So I just learned to be like a lone wolf and be self-reliant. And and then as I got more famous and more celebrated and whatever, and people always want to get you coffee and do this for you and do that. Oh, sit in this special section behind the rope. Oh, don't talk to them. Oh, you don't have to. You realize, like, oh, no. I have to be a lone wolf. I have to be self-reliant. I have to push against someone giving me coffee. Because what happens is, and it's not an individual failing, When I look at, like, spoiled, famous, rich
right,
people.
it's human nature.
Yeah.
It's the natural law of cause and effect.
Exactly. So if people are coming up to you all day long saying, oh, my gosh, you're so special. You shouldn't have to carry your bags. You shouldn't have to get your own coffee. It's just a natural thing. People just go, well, the world is telling me this. Who am I to argue with the world, right?
Right.
Maybe I am so special. Maybe I do deserve to have my coffee. But where's my coffee? And all of a sudden,
Right.
that's who you become. And it takes almost like an illogical or obstinate, stubborn person to push against that all the time. But I've learned you have to do that.
Sure.
That's why I don't use go-betweens, and I don't, although this was set up by a publicist, because press
Right.
and whatever, that's like people's jobs, like that.
Sure.
They help you get that done.
I
but-
agree with you very much, and I think that as it relates to being very well known, that I wonder if we have this in common, because I feel grateful that I'm well known, that I make a good living, I get by, but I'm just not
dude.
that big of a deal.
No, but so many people, so many younger people who maybe are still getting fucked up and drunk and
Yeah.
doing crazy shit, they must see you and be like, oh man, come on. And they're disappointed when you're
Nah.
not, like, right?
I mean, it's been long enough. I've been clean and sober for 17 years now.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it's quite a while, but I just
Your sobriety is almost of age.
yeah, just about right, just
Wow.
about.
You can almost fuck
And,
it.
and I like that. I'm like, yeah, people know me, but I'm not that big of a deal. Like I really.
To me, you are.
Well, I live a very regular life. Like I drive myself to the grocery store, do my whole thing.
Yeah.
And one thing
Have
that
you- oh, sorry, go ahead. One thing that
when people ask to take photos with me and stuff, like, in crowded places that can be challenging. There's certain places.
If that's all you want to do all night, then it's fine. But if you had other plans,
certain crowded situations are challenging, but in manageable numbers, like as I meet people going about my day, each encounter where somebody's asking for a photo or each one of those encounters is an opportunity to give somebody a joyful experience.
Yes. I disagree in some ways, though.
Okay.
Because what you're describing is a very selfless thing. So you're saying 100% of the time if someone asks for a picture, other than crowded situations, you say yes, right? Okay. I had to make a rule about this with myself. I had to forgive myself for just feeling a certain way, right? And this is my rule. If I feel like doing it, I do it. If I don't feel like doing it, I listen to that voice and I say, I'm sorry. I'd say, no, thank you. I don't feel like doing it, but thank you. It's very nice to meet you. I'm very kind. I try to make a connection, a meaningful thing. But if I don't feel like taking a picture, if I feel like whatever, I'm off, it's morning or I'm in a bad mood or whatever, I just trust, I never do it when I'm with my family. Never.
Right.
Because that's their time.
Right.
And who is this stranger to take their time?
Right. Okay.
And, if I'm by myself, I almost always do it unless, whatever. If it's a kid, 100% of the time I do it. If it's a kid.
Right.
As long as they're polite and they don't try to surveil you before.
Right.
A lot of people take a picture of you without asking, and then they come up to you and can I get a picture with you? I'm like, hey, man, you were taking them all through dinner. Sorry to be a dick, but you already have pictures of me. Right?
I do want to have a boundary if I'm eating.
Yeah.
If I'm eating and if I'm on a date. I got my lady if we're on a date. Yeah.
That's your time,
Yeah.
It's so anyway.
It's good to have boundaries.
I do think, boundaries is love too. Like people you have kids?
I don't.
Well, kids, it's a big mistake people make with kids. They think I just have to love them, and what do you want, baby? Yes, baby, yes. I think making it all happen for you. But what kids want is a boundary, because kids they freak out and have a tantrum, and you say oh, well, you'll feel, okay, you'll feel better. That just makes them more upset because they're looking for, where's the boundary? Where am I safe? And the parent says hold on, don't throw your sippy cup at me. That's not okay.
Right.
Then they're oh, okay, that's the boundary. I'm safe if I'm within the boundary, And boundaries are love too. Saying no is love too.
Right.
And I also think these exchanges with people, sometimes I just really try to be honest with myself. What did this feel like?
Right.
Because if you're walking down the street, someone goes, hey, can I get a picture? You're just objectifying me. You're treating me like an animal in the zoo. But if someone's oh my gosh, John Reilly, my brother went to school with you. We're oh, okay, we're having a conversation. It's a moment to be hey, I'm not an animal in a zoo. I'm a person, just like you.
I wonder.
Wait, I wanted to say this thing though. So sometimes I'm the same way. I move through the world virtually alone, going subways, a thing, whatever. I do whatever I have to do. I'm a self-reliant lone wolf. Sometimes I'll be on the subway and there'll be some kid will come up and be holy shit, are you John C. Reilly? I'm yeah, man. What the fuck are you doing on the train? And you can tell they're upset that I'm on the train. They're you should be in a limo, man. Because you realize this person has come to believe that if you succeed in life, you get to be in the limo. And so they're grunting it through their day job, thinking well, if I ever get famous, I'm going to be in a limo like John C. Reilly. Then they see you on the train hold on a second. You're on the fucking train like me? What do I have to look forward to? If that's not the golden ring, what? You're upsetting the apple cart of my mind, the pecking order, right? And it's a radical thing to say to people no, dude, we're in the same place. I'm a human being. You're a human being. We both had to take the train today. That's just the way it is. There's not some magical thing that happens to you when you get famous that makes me better than you or makes me more worthy than you. You're as worthy as me,
For sure.
So anyway, I'm curious if you get that sometimes. People are why are you buying your own groceries? Isn't there someone who should be doing that for you?
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I proudly, whenever I board an airplane, I proudly walk right through the first class section to my seat in the back.
If I'm paying for it, if you see me in first class, someone else is paying for it, or it's miles or something.
Right.
But if I'm paying money, I'm in coach, maybe Coach Plus or whatever.
There was a point when I did buy first class because I traveled with my dog. I put the service dog vest on it. It was a sizable dog, so we needed a little more space. But I don't travel with a service dog anymore, and I only buy coach tickets. But and I'm sensitive too that we've been. This has been fantastic, by the way. I've really been enjoying this.
Yeah,
thoroughly.
likewise. You know, I have to say, I want to give you another compliment about your sobriety. Like, you're really clear-minded.
Well, thank you.
You can really track a thought and say, I don't know how many whippets you've done, but I would imagine a few, just the on-camera ones that I've seen. You know, so congratulations.
Thank you.
That you can still whatever. You still got it, kid.
Yeah, dude, I've hit my head a lot. I've done a lot of drugs, a lot of whips, and somehow my memory's pretty good, and I can track a
Good.
conversation.
That's a real blessing.
Yeah, thank you.
You're lucky that you didn't.
I'm
Some
just,
people don't make it back. They
Right,
get
I
sober,
know.
but they don't make it back.
right.
You know?
I know.
Yeah.
With respect to this encounters with people wanting to take photos, it's interesting because I absolutely see where you're coming from. How does it make me feel? If I don't feel like it, then I'm gonna draw a boundary. Like for me, and I talk about this a lot, so apologies, to anybody listening. It's like, oh, him with the near-death experiences again. But I'm fascinated.
I've had a couple.
But
I've got a couple. I
Like
have
that-
some serious ones. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the near-death experience society? If the
No.
people are like, and I think it's a misnomer to call it a near-death experience, but people have had the experience of actually dying, where they go on the other side.
I haven't done
Right.
that,
And-
but
and
yeah,
there's a saying-
I got a serious illness one time. That's when I started dressing so eccentrically. After that, what I considered a near-death experience, I was like, you know what? I'm an eccentric person. I'm going to dress like a fucking eccentric person. I'm going to be joyful in the whatever. I'm not going to worry about what other people think I look like. It was after that,
Right.
when you look at your death, it's like coming up. You're like, you know what? Let's make the best of this, while we're here, right?
Right. The
But I also have to say about the stuff about people coming up to you. I got into acting not because I wanted people to know who I was, not because I wanted them to know who my personality was, not because I wanted to meet you. But love. I get love from the people I know who are in my world.
Right.
Actually, I'm not someone, believe it or not, who gets a lot out of anonymous love.
right.
It's nice. It's nice that I've touched people's lives. Oh, me and my father watched the movies. That's awesome. I understand I'm a vessel for joy in the world. And I used to, when people, I spent a long time when people come up, if I didn't feel like it, I'd be like, man, I'm sorry. No, I don't feel like doing it. Then that person would be like, really? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm having a rough morning. And they walk away. For 2-3 days, I'm thinking about that encounter. Why didn't you just fucking take the picture? Oh, what skin off your ass is it? And so that's when I made that rule. I was like, you know what? Trust your instincts and then don't think about it anymore.
Yeah.
If you say yes, that's great. If you say no, that's also great.
Right.
And then a lot of times people you're with are like, oh man, that must be so annoying. Or like no, it's whatever. It's
Right.
okay. It's love. It's all love. When people
Right.
come up to you, although you could debate now, it's about content.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are just like, I want people to think I'm cool because I was with you, and now it's on social media.
Right.
That might not be so much about how much they love my work. That might be about them trying to trade on your
Little bit
whatever.
of clout.
So, yeah, clout or whatever.
Now-
So it's a complicated world, but I'm just trying to
Now with
be a good person moment by moment if I can. I make
Right.
mistakes,
Sure.
I don't not always the most generous whatever,
Right. With the near-death experience thing, there's a saying that when you die, your life flashes before your eyes. It's a saying as old as people themselves. And those who have had these near-death experiences, who share their accounts of them, refer to this as life review. And apparently, on the other side of death for us, time does not apply somehow. Like time is just like an illusion to us, and it doesn't apply on the other side. So this concept of your life flashing before your eyes, it's not a flash. It's something that you're immersed in with no time constraints. So there's unfathomable detail. And the idea is that you're re-experiencing your own life. However, not as you, but as those who you impacted during your life.
Did you see the movie Defending Your Life?
No.
Dude, by tomorrow, watch Albert Brooks' Defending Your Life. It is a genius comedy about this exact thing.
Right, okay.
Meryl Streep's in it. She fucking kills it.
Defending Your Life.
Defending Your Life.
I'm gonna
it's
do
one
that.
of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and it's about this exact thing.
I'm gonna do that. Now, when people describe this, it's like it's not for the purposes of punishment. It's not right or wrong. It's just kind of completing the experience. It's for the experience. So every time.
And then what happens after the review? Lights out?
There's I mean, typically when people are explaining it, they come back and they have their spirit guide and say, now you got to go back in your body. Nobody wants to. They're like, dude, this is bliss. This is love. I don't want to leave this. But they're like, no, you got more work to do. And everybody's kind of kicking and screaming.
Oh, floating over your body in surgery,
Yeah.
like looking down at yourself?
There's some of that.
Did you used to do this when you were a kid? We did this all the time as a kid, where you would get someone stand behind you, hyperventilate, and then squeeze the shit out of you, and you literally pass out, pins and needles, like, and then you come to like all your friends laughing at you, over you. I'm sure it's happened to you many times.
We edited footage of me doing that in 1995.
I used to do it as a kid, over and over again. It was like free drugs or something to us. I don't know, like we loved it.
But the idea that anytime I bummed somebody out, anytime that I'll experience that as the person, in this unfathomable detail, it makes me feel very sensitive. It makes me feel like honestly kind of scared because I know that I came up short so many times, particularly before I got sober. There were times when I really, really was hurtful.
Will you remember that though in your life review if you were really fucked up when it happened?
I think so. And I'll know it. I'll know the experience as those who I harmed. And even in sobriety, I've done a lot of like harmful stuff. I've got a short temper. Like I said, like I'm very passionate. Like I'm very I get so.
I feel you, brother.
I'm super sensitive to the harm I've done to others.
Yeah,
and selfishly because I know that it's awaiting me. So
I think that eats you alive in some way too. Like
it does.
If you don't reconcile it with yourself or with that person. It's something about it is like slowly corroding something inside you.
But so many of these encounters I can't make amends for because the moments are gone and the people I could never track down, and so I just know that it's waiting for me. And so with this hyper focus on the concept of life review and that we are all one, and that at the moment of death this illusion of separation is lifted and we realize that we're all one thing. We're all eyes in the same head.
That's what I'm trying to do while I'm alive.
Right. It was every thing I did to somebody else, nice or harmful, I was actually doing it to myself because we're only one thing. And knowing that, I feel like for me, I view every encounter with every person who wants a photo with me, whether it's for their social media, who cares? But like, the more that I can stack the good, if I can view each encounter as an opportunity,
well, that's your
for
guilty
me to,
conscience.
That's my guilty. Yeah.
Right. Is that a normal response?
It's probably not, but
is that a healthy response?
It's probably not. But,
give, so I can make up for.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, it is. You're right. It's very insecure on my part. It's very, very, very guilt motivated. But I can't help it. I just want.
Well, how about this scenario? Okay, so some guy comes up to me in the airport when I'm having a bad day, like whatever. You never know what someone else is going through.
Right.
Regardless of their station in life. You don't know what I just went through before I came to the airport. My mother might have just died, And you're looking for your moment to have the picture with the Step Brothers guy, but my mother just died, right?
Right.
So what do I owe you that? Or do you owe me the moment that and some privacy because my mother just died? You don't know, So in the life review of that guy, Is he going like, oh, I fucked up John C. Reilly's day that day? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe it's on him.
Right.
Maybe it's on him.
Right, and I think that that's what comes full circle is a complete understanding of everything that ever happened, and I think that we realized that it was for the experience, the beautiful, rich experience, that nothing was ever good or bad, right or wrong, but it was just a beautiful experience.
I think that's where we should all be aiming to get, for that place of oneness. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, like Bono said. You know, like
Right.
I practice transcendental meditation every day, and
Twice a day?
not twice a day. I
Okay.
used to do it twice a day, and it just that afternoon one just kept fucking up my family over and over. You're like, we're at the mall. Like, I know, but I'm going to the car for 20 minutes. I'm going to relax for 20 minutes. Is that okay? I'll give you the rest of the day. Is that fine? If I get 20 minutes? No. I do it in the morning, and that place, I mean, on the good days, you know, the place you get to when you're meditating is that place.
Right.
Like, everything's connected. Everything's okay. Everyone's equal. You know, it all makes sense in the end if we all just give each other the benefit of the doubt. You know, like, yeah, and just approach everyone with compassion and kindness. You know, that's what the Maharishi was into. That's what,
Right.
That's what, you know, Gandhi was into. It's like,
The Beatles.
yeah. Although that's a whole crazy story when they actually met the Maharishi.
Right.
It was a very fertile time because there's so many great songs came out of that trip.
I learned TM, Transcendental Meditation, at the David Lynch Foundation.
I learned it from the woman who taught David Lynch TM.
Oh, wow.
Her name is Penny Hintz, and she's still around. She still teaches TM, and she's a beautiful, beautiful person. Thank you, Penny. And thank
Wow.
you, David. I read David's book, and then I was like, one day I was like, I feel like I might need this, you know, and then I reached out to someone, my friend Miguel Arteta, a director. He's like, oh, I have the perfect person. I did it, and you should meet Penny. And like, in case you're curious about TM or meditation in general, TM is really great because it's not dogmatic. You don't have to swear allegiance to anybody.
Right.
You don't have to pay dues. You have to pay the teacher, but there's a sliding scale according to your income,
Do
right?
you know who Jeff Kober is?
No.
He's the he's a famous actor and you know also a TM Vedic meditation teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. TM is way older than the Maharishi. It's thousands of
Right.
years in Vedic medicine. But yeah, so anyway, I really liked it because I'm a sort of lapsed Catholic. Like, I like that you don't actually have. I said to Penny when I met her, I was like, you know, Penny, I reached out to you because I felt like I really needed this, but you have to give this. You give like a thanks prayer kind of thing to the teachers that came before.
Well, yeah, you bring a cloth, you bring a flower.
Yeah, and you give this kind of like offering to say, hey, thanks for passing along transcendental meditation, basically is what it says. Then they give you this mantra, which is just for you, which I
Yep.
can explain too. But I love the idea. And I said to Penny, I was like, listen, Penny, thank you for coming. You know, I know this has meant a lot to everyone, but I got to tell you, like, I really don't have a lot of faith that this is even real. I was really, I grew up Catholic, so I got a real big bullshit detector about this hooty-weeny metaphysical shit. And she's like, that's totally okay. She's like, there have been scientific studies that have shown that even no matter what you believe, if you do this for 20 minutes and you do the mantra and you do it the way I explained to do it, it works anyway. No matter what you think about it,
Right.
it works. And like I was like, okay, well that's a fucking great answer because I was waiting for you to go like, well actually the Maharishi taught us, you know, like, and she wasn't saying anything like that,
Right.
you know, like.
I fell off. It was 2013. I did the TM.
Yeah, I went away from it too,
I fell off
and then I
and-
realized like, why am I getting so agitated all the time? I was like, I should go back.
Yeah. Then 2019, I went to the second teacher. He taught me Vedic meditation, and I thought this is so funny because Vedic having been formally trained in both, There's no difference. There's no difference. And yet, the TM people and the Vedic meditation people have this like low grade beef with one another.
Oh, whatever. We're all human beings. People, they find ways to divide themselves.
Yeah, it's like clowns versus mimes all over again.
Yeah, I know, but it's clowns versus clowns. There's no difference. Man,
It's beautifully simple. It's beautifully simple.
It is. It is.
In the way that all of the most powerful, important things are.
Right.
Here's
I think this is a bit of a final thought because with meditation, I in 2019 I dove in and I kept track of it on my phone. I maintained an average of 41 minutes every single day for more than 5 years.
Wow.
And
I really depend on that 20-minute timer because I'll fall asleep.
right.
Yeah, like
For sure.
if I'm tired or whatever.
And I did this with such discipline. I felt that it didn't necessarily matter what it was doing, but just by the virtue of making the time, of having the discipline to show up, that was me demonstrating a commitment that was going to be beneficial in other areas of my life, no matter what.
Yeah.
I also believed that by doing that, I was setting an intention, that it was my deliberate intention to have a relationship with the universe, which I care about, and that in doing so, that the result would be that the universe was going to conspire in my favor. And I believed that, and that's all there is to it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, you also said something that really stuck with me. You said, the universe has blessed me in so many different ways. The least I can do is give the universe 20 minutes of my time.
That is how I felt. Now, after 5 years of doing this, I thought, okay, I've been very disciplined about meditation, but over the course of the last 5 years, I've gotten really bad at staying on top of my emails and stuff. Like I've just gotten fucking irresponsible. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to change my approach.
It's all part of everything. Don't worry, Steve. They'll get back to you if they don't hear from you.
I decided to deliberately change my approach to spirituality and adopt a more boots on the ground philosophy, that I'm actually going to take the time I would otherwise be meditating to be fucking on top of my shit and responsive and
Well, I'm terrible with email too, and people often are mystified, like, John, I thought we were friends, and I say, look, if I have a whatever, it's just a habit I have. Maybe it's a bad habit, I don't know, or maybe it's just the way I am. If I don't know what to say, I don't say anything.
Right.
So if you ask me about something and next year I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna write an email, I'm not sure. And then you get another email, another right to that one. I just wait until I have a definitive response and then I respond. That's annoying, but
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think my point that I'm getting at here is that this I meditate because the universe is going to conspire in my favor is quite self-serving.
I'm not sure the universe really gives a shit, honestly.
Right.
You just want to be a good fluid cog in the wheel, so that you don't upset the energy of the universe.
Right.
It's not looking out for you. You're just you want to participate in a healthy way with it.
I couldn't meditate if it wasn't because there was going to be something in it for me, and that's my flaw. Okay. And when it comes to taking photos with fans, it's not because I'm trying to uplift. It's because I want my life review to be more favorable.
Exactly. You're stacked with chips.
Every fucking thing I do has to be something in it for me, and that's just what's wrong with me.
I'm so inconsistent. I'm a Gemini. I don't know what your horoscope sign is. Okay.
I'm June 13th.
May 24th.
There you
Me
go.
and Bob Dylan. So I'm very fickle about almost everything in my life. I'm not consistent. It's one of the key things about Geminis. We're just not consistent. We're a lot of fun, but we're not consistent. We come and go, or we take one point of view one day, we take the opposite point of view another day, whatever. But TM, I think, is the only thing in my life other than brushing my teeth or whatever, even that is inconsistent.
Yeah.
The only thing I do consistently every day, and it's a source of comfort, just the fact that I can do something consistently is you're not so bad. You meditated again today. And yesterday, sometimes when I travel, I'll fuck up, I'll forget, or time differences or whatever. And then I was moving around yesterday. I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And I was just like, why do I feel like I'm having like a panic attack and I'm like out of sorts with everybody? And I was like, you didn't meditate today. Like, go back to the hotel right now. Like,
Wow.
and it totally makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm speaking to the converted here, but I'm not. Maybe there's people out there that are considering it.
I sent Paul to my meditation teacher, and
It's not for everybody. I've sent lots of people I love very much, and like, it helped me for a little while, and then I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like, okay,
yeah.
like, what about you?
I do it. Yeah, I don't do 20 minutes a day, but I do like 12 in the morning.
Wow, you're doing it. I
it's-
didn't know that you were doing that.
Yeah, I kind of waver. I'm like on and off, but when I'm in a good like kind of disciplined mindset, it's part of my morning routine.
That's
And
amazing.
it's great. I love
That's
it.
one thing for me. It's like if I'm gonna give somebody the gift of learning to meditate, like I'm not gonna have any strings attached. So it's not like, are you doing it?
Yeah,
Are you doing
exactly.
it?
I did it with
You
my
know,
whole
like-
family. I did it with my sons and my wife and like
Yeah.
everyone. And then some people kept it up. But you know what the loving part is like? Well, no, I don't. It's fine. Whatever you want to do. But I gave you that tool. If you need it, you have it. I gave it
Right.
to you. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And then sometimes my sons will get a little rattled or whatever. I was like, "Have you been meditating lately?" Like, no. Like, well, maybe it would
Yeah.
help. You know,
Right.
you've got it. You've got the tool. Like, you can always use it if you want. Like, I try not to be like,
I think that you've got a healthier worldview. You're more like grounded in who you are. Like I respect your.
It took a long time, man.
Yeah.
We've all had kind of crazy ups and downs, whatever. You were swinging hard, like with the drugs and alcohol. Like I never went that far, but we do all these things for reasons,
Right.
We have buried trauma, like traumas that you don't even know about are in your family. They've done studies, like it gets somewhat
Right.
into your DNA.
Right.
You're working through shit that you don't even know what you're working through. So, but I really am grateful that you made it, man. You're a source of light in the world, especially look what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Like you made us laugh and you did all this crazy shit with Jackass, right? And that just, I fucking loved all that stuff. And like, I was hoping you're going to be okay. And then I watched some people not make it. And like,
Right.
and now where you've landed is fucking great, man. You are making us more whole. Like, I
Well,
think.
thank you. I do believe that we both, and Jackass included, subscribe to kind and loving comedy.
Yeah.
I think
so,
Jackass
too.
is
The
very
joke was always on you guys,
right.
like.
Very wholesome, and that we never were mean spirited. We never targeted anybody but ourselves, and we signed up for it because we're attention whores and we want the attention, and we can handle it. So that makes it permissible to enjoy our misfortune because
Party boys. You were
It's
party boys.
just to spread joy is what it's about. Spread joy, and in this time, God, this time we're in, we need more kind, loving, fucking comedy, man.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, dude, what? Let's
go to the airport.
Yeah, let's go to the airport, man.
This was
We're going to
fantastic.
ride to the airport in this vehicle now.
Yeah, we
I
are.
brought my bags with me. In case you're wondering at home.
Yeah, when is your flight? You're good?
I hope so. Am I supposed to be keeping track of that
I
shit?
think she said 5:30.
I did
All right,
good.
you're good.
All right, and I'm so sorry it got as hot as it did, man.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Drenched in sweat over here.
dude.
Yeah, this was fantastic.
Yeah. And just like that, I got a new bro. I call him JCR, John C. Reilly. And honestly, sometimes after we record a podcast, we just kind of keep vibing with people. In this case, we drove John C. Reilly to the airport, and the whole way to the airport, we were just cracking up, laughing, having fun. And I genuinely feel that I can tell you he's my new buddy. So here we go, JCR. I love you, man, and thank you for doing this. And everybody who stuck around to the end, my wonderful, beautiful street team, I love you so much. Man, I'm having a blast in Canada. This tour is seriously going very, very well. So thanks, everybody, for coming out, and have a good one.